Hi guys, thank you for joining. Today we're going to be making some shortbread cookies, and if you want to make them at home, you will need some milk, some plain flour, some sugar, preferably caster sugar, and some soft butter. So let's get started. So what we're going to need to do is we are going to have to measure out the butter, and I am doing measurements that will make enough biscuits for about 6 people. But we also need a baking tray, which I have put foil on to stop them sticking to the pan, a mixing bowl, something to mix with, a cookie cutter, and something to measure with. So now we're going to take some measurements. We're going to start by measuring out 75 grams of butter. And we have to pour that in to the bowl. Now we are going to measure 100 grams of caster sugar. That should be around 100 grams. So we have 75 grams of butter and 100 grams of sugar. And now we're going to mix them both together. So you're going to keep on mixing until it's blended together into one texture. That's when you know you're good to go to the next step. So this is around the texture when you need to start considering moving on to the next step. This is almost a perfect texture. So you just need to keep on mixing for a while. It's quite creamy, and as you can see, they've blended together very well. So now we're going to measure the flour and pour it in. We are going to need 140 grams of plain flour. Perfect, 140. So now we're going to pour it in, but we're not going to mix it yet because there's still something I need to add. So there's something I've been hiding. I have a secret ingredient that I'm going to add in. It just makes everything taste so much better. I don't know, I've been debating whether to show you guys what it is, but I've come to the conclusion that I will. Here it is. It is chai latte from Sainsbury's. You can only get it at Sainsbury's. You can bake it, you can make it into tea and all of that, but it's very nice. I trust you guys fully with this secret. So, I'm not going to measure it, I'm just going to add what I think is enough in here, which should be the rest of it, because it's quite used already. There you go, my secret ingredient. Now that we have got our flour and chai latte mixture and our butter and sugar mixture, we're going to mix those together till it becomes kind of a shortened consistency. But we don't want this, and we want to turn it into dough. So what we will need to do is we're going to add a dash of milk in order to get this put together and into a dough. So now we have to add the milk. Well, I don't take precise measurements for the milk. I add it in and predict how much I'll need. You won't need too much, and don't add too much, because I know someone that put too much in theirs once and it got all runny. And they had to put in loads of flour, so the measurements were not precise and they didn't turn out as well. So you're just going to mix it in, make sure everything's in there till it becomes more like a sticky texture as this is. But if it becomes too sticky, you might want to add some flour, but not too much. Otherwise the ending product will be too dry. But you do have to keep in mind that you will have to shape these. So yeah. So now it's getting to a texture where I would almost want it to be. So I might have to go in with my hands. Make sure your hands are clean before you do this. And make sure you have all of the mixture in your hands. Just going to knead it quickly. But also keep in mind that it can't be too sticky, so it can't be sticking to your hands that much, and it should be able to kind of keep its place for a few seconds. And I think we should be ready to move on to the next stage. Well, I think it's time to take this out and put it on a chopping board. So, I would say I would need some flour on the chopping board so it doesn't stick to the chopping board. That's enough. You only need a pinch. And we have to take mixture out. Make sure it's nice, smooth. Kind of put it into a bowl of dough. Once it's done, you're going to start patting it down. Although you can use a rolling stick. And you just want to get it quite flat but not too flat. So kind of a medium size for biscuits. Because you don't want them to be too thick or too thin. Trying to get it even. And I think this is about a good thickness and length. So I will need my pan and my cookie cutter, and I will just need to cut my shape out and it should come out. Just give it a gentle push and it will come out, and put it on my pan. There, first cookie. And you're just going to repeat this over, and once the dough runs out, we need to roll it into a ball again, pat it down and repeat what you've just done. So this is our finished product, or almost finished product. It needs to bake in the oven. Well, I thought we would get 6, but we ended up getting 10. I spaced them out so that they don't stick together when they're cooking, because they will expand. And I have the oven prepared for them. It has been preheated at 180 degrees, but I'm going to bake them at 160 degrees. So in the oven they go. You should put them on the middle shelf. So now that they're in the oven, we're going to leave them there for 15 minutes, as I said, till they're like golden brown. And we're going to come back and see the finishing product. So we're going to wait for them to finish cooking. So it's been about 20 minutes while our shortbread cookies have been in the oven, and I think it's time to take them out before they burn. So let me get my special cloth. So this is, well, the ending product. They are a nice golden brown, they look quite crunchy, and how cookies should look. I would recommend them with a side of ice cream, so maybe some strawberries, and yeah, that would be very nice. Hope you enjoy these.